Okay. Let me clear out a few things here. Okay, hi everyone. We're going to run a quick little live stream here. I'm going to drive around a little bit. We are testing out a live stream for chasing what will likely be Major Hurricane Idalia, Tuesday into Wednesday. We are in the great state of Florida, so I have not tried Starlink in Florida in a streaming capacity. That's part of what I'm testing right now. I'm also, of course, want to make sure video, audio, everything all sounds good. I had to tear apart my car to move, and now we're back. So it's been a while. Friends, since we tried this live streaming thing. So running a quick live stream. Everybody in the chat, if you just want to let me know how it looks, how it sounds, that would be fantastic. Much appreciated. We're going to go for a quick little drive here while we test a few things. The standard setup is pretty much the same. We're using a DSLR on our dash as our primary camera. We are using SpaceX Starlink Internet as our primary internet source, with a follower to Verizon. I'm also wearing pants because mosquitoes are the worst, and pants are the best way to avoid mosquitoes. But yeah, we're driving kind of in an urban area with a lot of trees, so far from the most ideal situation in terms of using satellite internet. So we're definitely going to have dropouts and things here and there. But overall, just want to make sure everything sounds okay. Audio is something I want to make sure is working just fine for everybody. And we are right now in Titusville, over on the Atlantic side of things. We are under a tropical storm watch at the moment. Tomorrow we will likely be making the trek out west towards the Gulf side of the state for Hurricane Idalia, which is the correct pronunciation, by the way. Idalia. 3 syllables. Idalia. In case you're curious, I've been practicing. Almost as difficult as Isaias back in again, we're in a bit of an urban area, and I'm stress testing Starlink only right now, which is going to be part of the reason I might have hiccups here and there, is because I'm not using my Verizon fallover right now. I'm only using Starlink as my internet source. So trees and power lines and that kind of stuff could cause some issues, but overall, just really want to make sure things are working as they should. Again, more than anything, just a test of video and audio. I did just realize I did not have the stabilizer on the lens. I just toggled that on. So that should look better now than what it did look like not too long ago. Ten to 10 audio, 9 to 10 video. Excellent. Okay. Appreciate the feedback. Really do. We'll accept once we're in my full setup using Verizon and Starlink together. That should dramatically limit the hiccups in terms of video. And now, obviously, anytime you're in an urban area, I'm going to have more issues too with trees blocking sound. Did that car almost just drive off the side of the road in front of me? What was he doing here? If you stay with me for a little bit, we're going to go over towards the Indian River. We're going to have a good view towards Kennedy Space Center and the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. If you're into rockets and things like that, I'll really try and snipe the Atlas V, which is getting ready to launch tomorrow morning. Atlas V will be carrying a National Reconnaissance Office, NRO, classified satellite. It's an Atlas V. I think it's the first Atlas V launch this year, and only the second ULA launch this year from Florida. There was a Delta IV Heavy earlier in the year, I believe. But everything else has been SpaceX, Falcon 9s and Delta Heavies. Yeah, Starlink does not like low-hanging trees. That is facts. Absolutely facts. It's good in a lot of ways. It's surprisingly good in a lot of ways. But again, it is satellite, so it does need that clear view to the sky. But, I mean, this technology, it still blows me away. You know, every time I utilize it, it really, really blows me away just how darn good it is. Coming up here, we are coming up on the Indian River. So again, I'll try and get you guys a view while I work on a few other settings and things, play with a few things. We'll be able to look over Kennedy Space Center and the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. I hope I can get a good unobstructed view above me. The place I usually pull off, there's a lot of trees, so I don't think I'm going to be able to use that one. But I have another one in mind that I might have a better view. Oh boy. And this is why we're testing the setup here. Give me one moment, friends. We'll fix that. I gotta tighten this screw on the bottom of the tripod mount. So that's what happened there. That's an easy fix, I think. But now that we're cruising at a higher speed, hopefully everything looks alright. You're always going to have a little bit of wiggle as you're driving. Road bumps and things like that aren't perfect. And it's, you know, a delicate balance between sacrificing like image quality for stabilization. There's kind of this, you know, constant back and forth of which is the one I'd rather sacrifice. Do a quick little U-turn up here. Get to my parking spot of choice. I don't know if I probably could have done a U-turn there, but I'm just gonna go the safe route and not do a U-turn. We're gonna just do a little flippy up here. Okay. And then we're going to park up here in this little parking lot. Okay. For anybody that's just popping in, we're doing a bit of a test stream right now. Looking for feedback, how things look and sound. We got ready to likely go after Idalia, 3 syllables, tomorrow. I'm probably going to be focusing more on the tornadoes with the hurricane tomorrow as opposed to the actual hurricane itself. The area of the hurricane is making landfall, it's in a pretty rough spot. It's land that's really susceptible to storm surge. Alright. It's really susceptible to storm surge. And it's just like a big forest, and it's a really rough area. It's just Not great storm chasing terrain. Alright, so here we are on the banks of the Indian River. Let me try and work on a few things. The camera's going to get kind of weird here for a second while I tighten a few things on this tripod. Tighten that bolt. Okay. So, this is the Indian River. Way out there on the horizon. Woo! I might need to work on a few things here. So you got the vehicle assembly building over there. That's where the SLS, the Artemis 1, well, Artemis mission rockets are being constructed, stacked. On the left side, that tower that you see, that is the mobile launch platform, ML1. The rocket rides that to the launch pad from the vehicle assembly building. But in the instance of right now, they're testing the mobile launcher to make sure that it can fit on the pad and everything after some issues with Artemis 1. Kind of did some damage. Right in the middle of the screen, it's a little hard to see. Let me see if I can do digital zoom. I'm not sure if I can do digital zoom with this or not. Doesn't look like I can. I think the video froze, huh? Well, that's unfortunate. That's really weird that you can't do digital zoom. Okay, let me just turn that off. Alright, give me a moment. Alright, I don't really know why it stopped working there, so that's kind of weird. But we back. Okay, so given the fact that I cannot use the extra zoom, I'm definitely not going to be able to get you a rocket easily on camera here, but let me get myself oriented here. It would be right in the middle of the screen. That's where the Atlas V is right now. Getting ready for an NRO mission tomorrow. Alright, we got popping in. This will work. Moniker, thank you for all the input. I much appreciate it. Thank God I'm in Europe. It's so rare to have a country returns tornadoes. Yeah, they happen. They definitely do happen, but it's definitely, the United States is the perfect spot for big severe weather. David Gordon, great signal all the way around. Awesome. Love to hear it. Thanks for the feedback. Good deal. Alright, so really just wanted to make sure things were working. Let me see if I could do something kind of stupid here. Hold on, let me that didn't work. Hold on. Let me try doing... Let me play around with a few things here. I'm going to see if I can try and get a better view of the rocket that's out there. Because I can't, unfortunately, do a whole lot. Yeah, here, I'll try and make this happen. So right in the middle of your screen, that is the Launch Complex 41 at the Kennedy Space Center, where the Atlas V rocket currently is. It's right in the middle of that launch pad right there. But we're pretty far away. I think we're like 13 miles from it from here. Let me fact check that. Give me one moment. From Launch Complex 41, we are currently, 13.1 miles. Nailed it. I think on the left side of your screen, that's a vehicle assembly building there. Full moon. Yeah, we're getting to that point. The full moon, I believe, is this week. What's the tall thing with the blinking lights? So the tall thing, let me go back here. So the the blinking light is just a communication tower, but that tall building on the right, that is, I forget what ULA, United Launch Alliance, calls it. I believe it's the VIF, the Vertical Integration Facility, the VIF. That's where they stack the rocket, and then it rolls out from that building on the right to the launch pad, which is like in the middle part of the screen. So they roll it out vertically, unlike SpaceX, who I can get a bit of a view of their launch complex here. So that is Launch Complex 39A. And SpaceX is a little different. They stack their rockets horizontally. And so they don't have a tall building. They have a big, hangar, wide hangar. And they roll it out horizontally to the launch pad, where then it's raised vertical. And that's Launch Complex 39A that you're looking at there. The tower on the left, that's a water tower for the water deluge system. The middle tower, that black tower with the white antenna, that is the crew access tower, also the lightning protection system. And then that tallest tower on the right, that is the Starship launch platform, the orbital launch platform, where the Starship will be launching from. After it's done, being developed in Texas, they're going to start maybe also as opposed to only launching them from here as well. So that's Complex 39A that you're looking at right there. Didn't mean for this to turn into space chat, but I mean, if you guys are interested, I can kind of keep going here. If we keep going left, there we go. So that building on the left, that's actually a brand new facility that's going up and being built by Amazon. That's the Amazon Kuiper, those communication satellites. Kind of the rival to SpaceX Starlink. That's what that is there, that hangar on the left. Obviously still under construction. And then on the right, that's Launch Complex 39B, Bravo. That is where SLS and the Artemis missions launch from. And at the tower right now, that dark structure there, that's the Mobile Launch Platform, ML1. It's the big crawler. The crawler, I don't know if the crawler is still underneath it or not. The crawler may have crawled away from it, but the tower itself is now there. The rocket goes from the VAB, the Vehicle Assembly Building, to Pad 39B, and that's where it launches from. And that's the tower right there that was repaired and upgraded after Artemis 1. And then again, going, of course, back to the VAB, the Vehicle Assembly Building. That's this big, giant structure here. That's where the SLS Space Launch System rockets are stacked. And then they're rolled out from that building to Pad 39B. Trying to see if there's anything else I can snipe from this view. Those are the biggies. There is Launch Complex 40, which is the other SpaceX launch pad, which is right there. In the middle of your screen right now, that's Launch Complex 40. That's where SpaceX launches their Falcon 9 exclusively. They are also planning on building a new crew access tower for Complex 40, which will enable crews to fly from Launch Complex 40 as well, as opposed to just 39A. So they're upgrading their facilities at 40. I don't know if I can really see any other launch pads from here easily. If we keep going right, Titan stuff. I'm pretty sure. Let me keep going a little bit more to make sure. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so I'm a little hard to tell from this distance and this angle, but I'm pretty sure right in the middle there, that is Launch Complex 37. That is where the Delta rockets launch from for United Launch Alliance. Delta 4 Heavy, there's one more flight of those left. And thank you for tuning in to Space Tour. We'll zoom way out here again. let's see, we should be getting some model data starting to come in here. Newest runs coming in. Let's take a look and see what the American GFS is looking like. So here's a look at the GFS. Let's go SLP precipitation. And you can see it's the Great Bend here of Florida that's going to get impacted most likely. That's where the Hurricane Center has been pretty consistent with their cone of uncertainty impacting here. Still don't want to discount even as far south as Tampa, though. It's a really kind of a tricky system as it kind of wobbles. But you can see that storm is kind of making a beeline there towards the northwest Florida coast. That's the American GFS there. The European, see, it's 734, so it won't be in yet. So here's the 12Z run. You can see it's a little further east, southeast of the GFS. North American model, the NAM, kind of a similar idea, kind of there in the Great Bend of Florida. What I'm most interested in tomorrow, and then probably into early Wednesday as well, I'm more so interested in the potential for tornadoes in the outer band. I think that's what I'm primarily going to be focusing on. And so if we go out, here's like tomorrow evening, we're starting to get some of these kind of thunderstorms out ahead of the hurricane here. Then overnight, you kind of get some of these squalls kind of moving on shore from the outer bands. I'm probably heading towards the Tampa area. Gonna try and intercept maybe some of these tornado warnings. And then a very early Wednesday morning, may kind of continue following it towards the Orlando metro before calling it a day. I don't really want to mess, I think, with the core of the hurricane. I don't have as much experience chasing hurricanes. In fact, I've never chased a hurricane before, so this isn't the one I want to start with. So we'll avoid that. We're going to just play with some of the outer bands, I think, and focus more on the tornado threat and squall threat tomorrow. Got some good winds and heavy rain. So we'll check that out tomorrow into early Wednesday morning, most likely. And then we will likely continue to have threats for tornadoes and things even Wednesday afternoon here in central Iowa. Central Florida, excuse me. That's what we'll be primarily focused on, I think, tomorrow into Wednesday. We back. Kaysen, we back, baby. We're testing a few things, playing around with a few things. We're gonna get some tornadoes tomorrow. And we're gonna try and get some tubes tomorrow. Here is the current tornado risk. So here's the slight risk from the Storm Prediction Center. You can see that 5% risk for tornadoes there. Not very uncommon to get that in these outer bands of hurricanes. So we'll be kind of heading in that area likely tomorrow, later in the day tomorrow. And if we look into day 3, so into Wednesday, right now they got this slight risk over here. Especially north of like Interstate 4. I wouldn't be surprised if that pushes farther south to maybe closer down to Tampa and Melbourne. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see that slight push a bit further south. We'll have to see what the Storm Prediction Center wants to do with that. Either way, there will be a tornado threat, probably about as far south as like Okeechobee, so we'll be watching that. Watching that Tuesday to Wednesday. Yeah, the surge is not looking great. Again, that's part of the reason I don't want to mess with hurricanes either. It just, honestly, I'm going to be honest, they just don't sound fun. I like tornadoes. I'm all about tornadoes. I just don't understand hurricanes. I don't get the interest with them. I respect it, totally do, but I don't think it's for me. Here's the current storm surge forecast. You can see from Tampa up to I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't think I'm going to even try that one. But up to that sea town, 4 to 6 to 9 feet. And then in the Great Bend of Florida, you're talking 8 to 12 feet of water. And that's above normally dry ground. I mean, that's two me's on top of each other. That's some crazy stuff. Like, I don't want to be anywhere near that. I'm not interested in it. I don't know have the experience to go after that safely. But you can see here are the current warnings. You got hurricane warnings in effect here for a large portion of the Florida Gulf Coast. We are right now on the far eastern side. I'm right now on the eastern side of Florida, on the Atlantic coast, where we have that tropical storm watch in effect. That will likely be upgraded tonight, maybe early tomorrow morning. So a lot of things we're watching. Back into school tomorrow. That's exciting. I don't miss my time in school, but it was enjoyable. I enjoyed the schooling. I didn't hate it. All right, friends. I think I'm going to wrap this up. I think I got the testing done that I wanted to do. It seems like audio and video and everything looks good on your guys' end. So thank you all very much for the feedback. If you do have any other feedback, constructive, good or bad, please let me know. We're going to be testing this tomorrow. We'll be out and about tomorrow tracking Idalia, 3 syllables. And we'll keep you updated here. And of course, do not use my stream as life-saving information. Use it for entertainment, but please don't utilize me for critical information. Follow local media in the area. Definitely want to be doing that. So, all right, everybody, have a great rest of your evening. Stay safe if you're in the path of the storm. Have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Have a good one, guys.